I just want to say this here. I know it's about the eviction again, or it's unlawful anyway, but you know, I'll get that taken care of. And the courts know it. But anyways, long story short, the maintenance guy who said he's that he was so afraid to fix on the building, that I was harassing him and so on and so forth, right? But of course that's hearsay. But the following day, that he was antagonizing me by driving in his little go-kart and snapping a picture in front of my unit with his flash on in broad daylight. And, you know, of course he was bragging how much he got paid, you know, for his testimony against me. So then I'm sitting here thinking, I was watching a movie anyway, but I was, you know, thinking that I forgot to mention that, well, what year was that? I think it was 2021. Yeah, 2021. 2021 or early this year. It was sometime either 2021 or late 2021 or early 2022. And what happened, that same guy who gave his testimony, he was banging on you know, our building, which was behind my kitchen window. And he kept moving around, banging on the building, taking the cords and, you know, from the satellite thing that's back there. And I don't know if it's still back there or not. It was in a pile. He was gathering them up, banging on the back of my other siding, and then he leaves, and then he goes towards the leasing office. So I'm looking out the window, and something told me, you know, don't go outside. You know, I listened to my intuition. So I didn't go outside because it was too suspicious. Like, why would he keep banging on my thing? And I know from the time when my old neighbor here was murdered inside his own apartment with no forced entry. And they said, you know, he was shot several times. You know, it was like people just spreading rumors, whatever. But, you know, that incident happened in December 2021. So soon after that, you know, that particular maintenance guy who gave his testimony, he went towards the leasing office and he had his ladder. And he was fooling around with those floodlights or whatever they call those security lights. And then all of a sudden, there's this woman with a backpack on, you know, blonde hair, and she was standing by the office, like, suspiciously, and she didn't dress for the area. She's from a different area. I mean, you can kind of tell by people dress, the way they stand, and it's just different. And then there was a Hispanic dude, the same Hispanic dude that was near my old neighbor's apartment, the one that got murdered. And so, and somebody told me something too, but you know, I don't want to repeat it, but he was standing there adjacent from my apartment unit. And so I'm looking at him, and he looked suspicious, walking back and forth. He was peeking around the corner. You know, it was adjacent from my apartment, like the next building across the street or across from me. So I'm looking at the window. I'm like, huh, what's going on here? And then the maintenance guy, he was just working on the lights. It was as if it was instructed to create harm. And typically I would go outside to see what's going on, to investigate. And that's why I did that. I got assaulted, you know, it was all set up. So I stood inside, and then I thought to myself, oh, okay, this is a setup. Because when I didn't go outside, when they saw me looking, taking pictures, because I was suspicious. I still have the pictures to this day. And the woman with the backpack, she left. And then the Hispanic guy, he took off. That's the same guy that was near the apartment or the building where my neighbor had got murdered. So I'm like, okay. So as the guy tells me, I work for Reliant Property. So when they're instructed to do stuff that's outside of their job description, and like I said in my injunction, which, you know, it wasn't approved because, which I should have done a restraining order, because I didn't have a current lawsuit pending about, you know, the harassment, possible murder, because 3 people got murdered, and one guy was from a different property, and they knew his family, and all of a sudden nobody spoke on what really happened. And the detective who's on the case, you know, is from the sheriff department, who is possibly a relation to the property manager, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff. So, you know, hey. But I wanted to say that there, because I was just like, okay, you know, that guy said he was so afraid, but yeah, he was banging on the back of the building and tossing these cords around, banging, you know, to get me outside. And like I said, you know, the Hispanic dude, he was just standing there, like nervously, like just peeking around the corner. And then the lady with the backpack, and she was just like standing in the office, but she didn't want to be identified. But I took a picture of her because I was like, this lady doesn't fit the community, because I can tell, you know, you can tell the way the person dresses, the way they walk, the way they look, their demeanor, you know, and yeah, so it was all conjured up. But you know, I already know it was this eviction thing that was done on me was unlawfully. I mean, I could stay here if I really wanted to. I fight hard about it because it was all done wrong, and the courts know it too. They wouldn't know if I know it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm gonna move on because I believe there's something greater for me anyway, and I can't really be productive in this ghetto. You know, I mean, I did so many things to try, as far as try to start my business and everything else. I'm always on my computer, tampering with my documents, my websites, and blocking me and stuff like that because the internet line is all connected. And these people put the tenants and residents in great risk by hacking, surveilling their tenants. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's been a lot of robberies and burglaries in people's apartments, because they be monitoring. They be doing all kinds of different bad things. So, and I don't know if these people, the foreigners, whatever it is, know about the laws about entering people's apartments without them being home, because they're on instruction, and I know they are. And then all of a sudden, no one sees anything. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's stupid. This is a classic form of gaslighting. You know, they think they know everything, but they don't. That's why they put a lot of mentally ill people in this community, or whatever it is, because when you put people who are mentally unstable, then their word oftentimes is not become truth, you know? So anyways, until next time.